Rob Smith is back at it yet again. And like I tell you, whenever there's a chance for me to talk about Rob Smith, it's only going to come in two forms. It's either going to be a bed bucking Hall of Shame, or he's going to get a Petty Pendergrass production. So as you all know, everyone's still talking about Charlie Kirk and all this, that, and the third, and he is no different. So he's come out now and he did this video where I think like he did it on the 16th of September, where he's up here talking about how Charlie Kirk did things for black conservatives. It kind of reminds me of what the Cartier family said. So it's like they're getting these incentives from Charlie Kirk, and this is why they're saying he's not racist, or he's not the way that he is, or how black people are making him out to be. As a matter of fact, let me insert what he said exactly. Rob Smith said Charlie Kirk is responsible for the careers of nearly all of your favorite black commentators. Charlie Kirk and TPUSA held the largest gathering of young black Americans at the White House in history. Charlie Kirk was no racist, and his actions proved it. I find it interesting because when I actually came across this post, I said I find it interesting that he's saying this because the last time that we know of Rob Smith attending at least a big TPUSA event, ironically in Arizona, which I think is where it started at, he ended up getting called all kind of slurs about him, about his race and his sexuality. He practically got ran out of there, ran to CNN, which would be seen as the ops by the conservatives because it's liberal media, or at least that's how they present themselves. And he's up there crying on Abby Phillips' show. And then he ends up being an independent for like 2 weeks. And when that didn't go well, he slithered his way back into being a conservative. And now he's talking like this again. Y'all, this is the exact definition of a grifter. But now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to now insert the video that's about 3 minutes and 47 seconds long, and you can hear for yourself what Rob Smith had to say in its entirety.
Anybody that thinks that Charlie Kirk hated black people did not know Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Charlie Kirk is responsible for the voices and platforms of so many black conservative commentators. You name them. If you want to talk about Terrence K. Williams, if you want to talk about David J. Harris Jr., if you want to talk about the great people that are black, if you want to talk about Brandon Tatum, if you want to talk about the great black people that are doing work in the conservative movement and that have platforms, there's a direct line to Charlie Kirk. He understood more so than I would say 98.9% of people that were in his position in the conservative movement, how powerful it was to elevate black conservative voices. And if you look at even the younger people, from Amir Odom, who did that incredible video that just went all over the internet, to Chandler Crump, to all of these younger black right-leaning influencers, they have platforms because of Charlie Kirk. And I'm going to tell you a story. Charlie Kirk is responsible for, I believe it was hundreds of young black conservatives during Trump 1.0, going to the White House and participating in, I believe it was called the Black Leadership Summit that Turning Point USA had. And you have to understand that Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA made sure that all of these black youth, right, that were conservative leaning, that were interested in conservative movement, interested in Trump, whatever you want to call it, that they got plane tickets, that they got hotels, that they had this amazing experience. Some of these kids, and I remember being at that and talking to some of these young people, they'd never been on a plane before. They'd never been to DC before, let alone the White House. It's because of Charlie Kirk. That was his vision. And to see people pretend as if he harbored some kind of hatred for black Americans because they didn't like some things that he said, or they want to misrepresent some of the things that he said on his radio show or in speeches or whatever, is ridiculous to me. You don't judge a man by his words. You judge him by his actions. And that man took action to elevate black people in this movement. That man took action to open the eyes of younger black people, black Americans in this country, who were interested in the conservative movement, who were interested in becoming a Republican, who were interested in Trump, whatever you want to call it. That was his doing. And he was able to do that work through the vehicle that is Turning Point USA, which is so massive and so powerful, and that has been so influential to this movement and to so many people's lives and platforms and careers. So the next time you hear somebody say that Charlie Kirk was racist, that Charlie Kirk hated Black people, you point them to me, point them to Terrence Williams, point them to David J. Harris Jr., point them to Brandon Tatum, point them to any one of the hundreds of Black kids that went to the White House for the first time, that went to that Black Leadership Summit, that are employed in various capacities by him, by Turning Point USA, etc. You judge a man by his actions, and there is no way that you can look at the actions of Charlie Kirk and think that that man hated Black people.
Boy, if you don't get the fuck out my face.
Okay, so y'all just heard that nauseating, I guess you could say, confession from Rob Smith, and basically saying, if y'all looked at the video I did on the Cartier family, they basically said the same thing. I wonder if it was the same event, because it sounds like the same event that he's talking about, where they got flown out and they were able to meet Trump and go to these different summits and everything like that. So y'all like the perks of having Charlie Kirk around. Like, that's what it sounds like to me. That he flew y'all out, y'all was able to go to these places. He uses resources in order to get y'all to where you were at, and to get you, I guess, you on the up and up, and get you into the right spaces and everything like that. That's fine and all. However, that does not negate the off-coldness that each person that he mentioned, including himself, displayed. It's almost like it's baked in somewhere, where in order to be a Black conservative, you have to throw your own people under the bus. I can't tell you how many times I've come across video after video where you have people like Rob Smith and all the people that he mentioned. He mentioned Terrence K. Williams. He mentioned Amir Odom. He mentioned Fakem and a couple of other people that I'm not too familiar with, but I'm sure the same thing can apply to them. Every last one of those people that he mentioned, including himself, have said disparaging things about the Black community, about their own people. I remember that video that Rob Smith, and it wasn't that long ago, he was walking around, I forgot what state he was in, where he was talking about, I'm like the only Black person here, and it's a reason why this place is so clean, because it doesn't have a lot of ghetto trash and all types of stuff that he was saying. And then some other things. Again, look at who brought you in, and then look at what was dished out or dished back to us. And then they wonder why a lot of Black people did not gravitate towards them. Like, basically, let's put it this way. You know how we always say be one this and be one all the time? We would not have been able to do that over there, because they would not have allowed us to say be one. We would not have been able to say Black first. We would have to say America first, which is kind of ironic, considering a lot of these individuals scream America first, but their actions don't show it. Speaking of not showing things in their actions, Rob Smith. And they keep saying things about Charlie Kirk and praising him and stuff like that. And they keep saying there's nothing or no proof that I've found to say that he is a racist. I'm like, there's so many receipts out there that proves that he is. And they think, oh, it's just because he's saying things. Words can lead to actions of others. It's called being inspired to do things from what someone else says, or being radicalized. You don't think some people out there haven't done things or thought of doing things because of certain things Charlie Kirk has said over the years? Just because it wasn't you personally doesn't mean that it didn't happen or was not going to happen. It's like, how can you be this dense? Like, really, it's crazy to me that you have people like Rob Smith and all the other people that he mentioned, and then going to try to use those as good examples. Every last person that he mentioned is off code. Every last one of them would be seen as an op by us, including him, or people that we just cannot trust, or these turncoats. These are the people that people like Malcolm X warned us about. People like that. And you want us to go over there? This is exactly why I'm registered as an independent right now as it is. Because it's no way that I can be on either side, because both sides have proven to me without the shadow of a doubt that neither one of them can be trusted. And then you got people like him coming up here talking about, oh, this is why Charlie Kirk isn't racist, because he flew us out here. He put us in front of this type of people. It's no way. But guess what? If you look at Rob Smith, Fakem, Terrence K. Williams, Amir Odom, and a whole bunch of other people that he either mentioned or did not mention, all of them have an anti-Black stance to them. It's almost like that's part of their code over there. It's baked in. Like, that's what they have to be in order to sustain over there. Remember, I just did a video about Tommy Sotomayor where he was talking about how when he's talking about black people negatively, he gets all these comments and praise, but the minute he pivots and starts to talk about something else, then that's when he doesn't get that much engagement, or they call him the N-word and this, that, and the third. The same thing applies to Rob Smith and all those other ones that he mentioned. See, us over here, we don't throw our old under the bus, and we can talk freely. This goes back to why I said I could not grift like that. I couldn't grift at all, because then you are locked into a box that you can't climb and claw your way out of. You're stuck. That's why, again, Rob Smith only did that little 2-week stint as an independent, because he wasn't going to make it over there, and he had to slither his way back into being a conservative where the algorithm was working in his favor, because him being an independent didn't work. I'll never forget when he was doing lives talking about being an independent, and that ratio was something else, because them dislikes was through the roof. But then he stopped and then went back to doing what he's doing now. Same thing with Candace Owens, with her so-called blackest week ever, where she recognized her blackness for like 2.5 seconds and then quickly went back to doing what she does best. Like I said, these are nothing but a bunch of con artists and a bunch of schemers, and they've learned their best from the worst. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Rob Smith, this is his lot in life. This is all he's gonna have. As far as I'm concerned, this is where he's at, and he can keep that over there. But that we always say, tap dancing does not have a retirement plan. The tool will eventually get broken. You just haven't. The thing is, he's already been broken. You know, from that TPUSA event, that was his wake up call then. And the thing is, I've seen videos where Rob Smith has slightly called out that side, but then he doesn't go fully all the way in. He is almost like he straddles the fence. So as far as I'm concerned, Rob Smith, you can have it. But when they turn on you, and they will, just give it time, don't come back over here. Well, actually, he's never been over here to begin with, so he can't come back over here. So that's all I have to say about that. But actually, no, there is one more thing I'd like to say, but I'm going to let another person handle that for me. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.
For him and his family, God, we ask that you cover his kids.
Yeah, I'm not.
We ask that.
I don't even want to hear that. I don't even want to participate. Don't even put that on me. Ancestors, get that energy off of me. Please wipe it off me. God, I don't even want that energy on me. Don't put that on me. I don't want to be a part of that prayer chain. Hell to the nah.